before our review of Thor Love and Thunder,
why don't you guys take a moment to bring down the hammer on that like button and also click the subscribe and notification icon so you get notified anytime I upload new
Thor
content.
Love and Thunder, we have for our plot an 8 out of 10. The plot was good. It was easy to follow. There's a few points of contention, like Gor's motivation change about halfway through, where he goes from blaming the gods for killing innocents to taking the innocent children of New Asgard. So I thought that was a little bit out of character. Pacing, we had an 8 out of 10. Moved along pretty well. It didn't jump around too much. It could have used a little bit more explanation into some of Thor's new powers, like being able to add enchantments to Mjolnir, and Stormbreaker being able to change his clothing and stuff like that. Also, how he was able to impart the kids with his powers as well. For acting, we had an 8 out of 10. Most of the acting felt natural. There were some scenes that I felt were a little forced, but they seemed to be more scenes where it was a character going against just a plain CGI. So like when we had Thor talking to Stormbreaker, that felt a little bit more forced. For cinematography, we had an 8 out of 10. The whole thing was shot beautifully. Even the black and white scenes really felt natural. My only issue was some of the scenes were obviously not in 4K quality, so it kind of held it back a little bit for me. For special effects, I had to give it a 9 out of 10. For the most part, the effects were awesome, but just a few areas, the jankiness of it just kind of pulled me out of the story. One thing was kind of the boost cons. They kind of they were so Muppety that they kind of almost pulled me out, but in the best way. So for horror, there was none. There was no horror. It gets a 0 out of 10. There was no horror. For action, I give it a 9 out of 10. It was pretty action-packed. There was a lot of stuff going on a lot of the time. For comedy, I gave it a 10 out of 10. There was lots and lots of comedy on display. Almost too much at times, I thought. It kind of undercut some of the drama in some ways, which I'll get to in a minute. But I think it just kind of ran on that border of too much. And a few times it kind of fell off. Drama. I did a 7 out of 10. There were some scenes that were dramatic, but it felt like the comedy was just there, kind of waiting. Like you could almost feel like there was a joke just waiting to be said when you found out that Jane had cancer. The sci-fi aspects. I mean, we had Thor, we had the Guardians, we had the boost cons, we had the boost cons, whatever Gore was, Eternity, Love, who was a child of Eternity. I mean, it was all mixed together. And it's the story of a space Viking. How else could it get any better? So when we get to our total, it's 76 out of 100 for Thor Love and Thunder. So over 3/4 of the way, definitely a pretty good scoring. Had there been some horror elements to it or something like that, it probably would have bumped it up on our scale. But definitely a good movie. I'll be watching it again, I know that, because I just love all the Marvel movies anyways. And I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'll talk to you later. Ozzy out. Bye, guys.
For Thor Love and Thunder, we have plot an 8, pacing an 8, acting an 8, cinematography an 8, special effects a 9, horror a 0, action a 9, comedy a 10, drama a 7, sci-fi a 9. For a total of 66. My bad.
Hey guys, thanks for coming in and hanging here on Oz Opinions. If you haven't already, please remember to click that thumbs up like button and also subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, click that notification icon. It's over here somewhere. Not exactly sure where. Right about in here, but click on that and you'll get notified anytime I upload new content. Also, don't forget to check out all my other channels. I have 3 channels for Oz Opinions now. One for sci-fi and horror, one for products and services, and one for superheroes and comics. Please make sure to check them all out. Also, remember to check out my link tree so you can follow me on all of my socials to find out anytime I'm going live or uploading new content. And if you haven't already, leave a comment and let me know what you like about this show. All right, I'll talk to you later. Ozzy out. Bye, guys.